Anthony William does not have the gift he says he does.
Since the age of 4, I woke up one morning, heard a voice perfectly clear, and that voice tells me what's going inside the body. So what's happening? You know, are you sick? Is there a mysterious illness? And it comes nonstop like that.
Anthony claims all of his information comes from a spirit. Yet, Anthony studied under Anne-Marie Colbin, Christopher Hobbs, and Cascade Anderson Geller. Most of the health and nutrition information Anthony shares is similar to what they teach in their own books. Anthony owned a health food store and was a Whole Foods nutrition coach in the early 2000s. His cafe menu served many of his current no foods, such as egg salad sandwiches, fresh brewed coffee, tuna sandwiches, pizza, and more, made fresh in his store. Anthony is a doctor of divinity, with extensive religious knowledge, which he proudly claimed on his website. But now he claims that he didn't study at all.
I'm not an educated guy. I don't have an education. I don't have a college degree. I never went to universities, never went to nutritional courses, classes, never went to anything. I get my information in medical textbooks that's advanced, ahead of science and research. I get it from up here, from above.
It wasn't until later, when Anthony rebranded himself as a medical medium, that he began to claim that he could talk to a spirit who has advanced health information. Anthony claims that he's decades ahead of doctors and that he can diagnose people on the spot with extreme accuracy.
The only way you're going to win is if you know what's wrong with you, because then you can know how to fix it. So what medical medium information is knowing what's causing your illness and then knowing how to fix it. So half the battle won is knowing the cause. I had to have my assistant with me just getting into this building, because if I do 30, 40 readings on the way here, because Spirit of Compassion is going to tell me this person's got a back problem, this person's got a heart issue, this person's got diabetes, this person has a tumor in their liver, this person has, this person's going to get really sick down the road, this person's going to...
This claim is dangerous because Anthony's loyal followers believe in him and take his diagnoses seriously, and he has oftentimes been wrong. There are many women and children who Anthony misdiagnosed, including Stephanie Tizone, Terry Garcia, Gavin Gallagher via his loving mother, and Kirsten Spain. These women all believed in Anthony, believed his diagnosis was correct, and followed his advice. All 3 of these women, and this young child, paid the ultimate price, their lives. Anthony has avoided taking responsibility for his claims by gaslighting, weaponizing his followers, and silencing anyone who tries to speak out. He also created podcasts that pertain to Stephanie Tizone's death, where he edited audios and misrepresented texts to his followers. This saved his public image while tarnishing Stephanie's memory. We have provided hours of evidence against his podcast to prove many of his claims false.
You're dealing with a shingles virus, tried and true, like 100%. I mean, that's the virus flared up your disc, everything else. I mean, the disc that stays.
So much cancer that if you don't do anything, the game's up. Multiple lesions throughout your entire spine. Okay, so thoracic, lumbar, sacral.
Did he seem to agree with everything thus far?
He doesn't agree with what they're saying. He agrees you have some lesions through your body that are viral, but they're not the cancer. He said it's much safer bet to hold off on the procedures tomorrow.
We have provided hours of evidence against his podcast to prove many of his claims false, including that Steph's family took her phone away, Stephanie was poor and dirty, that Anthony told her to see a medical doctor, that Steph had shingles, that Steph didn't follow his protocols, that he never gave her advice against her doctors, and that he didn't abandon her.
And it's just insane to me that anyone could hear this podcast and go, oh, he's such a kind-hearted, empathic soul that's just trying to help humanity. He must have no conscience, because it must be hard to live with yourself.
Anthony misdiagnosed his friend, our Stephanie, told her to hold off on treatments, and abandoned her when he realized his diagnosis was wrong. Anthony does not have the gift he says he does. If he did, why would he have told Steph she had a slipped disc when she had cancer eroding her spine? Anthony William is practicing medicine without a license. If he were a medical doctor, his license would have been revoked. Anthony should not be able to continue to make these harmful claims. While we do not blame Anthony for these deaths, Anthony needs to be held accountable for the claims that he makes. Here on our page, we are holding Anthony accountable. This is Stephanie's Legacy.
Somebody told me about this channel called Stephanie's Legacy. If you don't know who Stephanie is, she was working for medical medium Anthony William, and she ended up dying of breast cancer and misleading her and basically diagnosing her and giving her all these diagnoses. I guess he thought that, I don't know what he thought. Did he think that her family and friends wouldn't have access to recordings and stuff like he does? Did he think that they were never going to say anything about it?